Welcome back, everybody, to the final hour of episode 4 of The Burning Wheel. I'm very impressed. As someone in chat said as we were going to break, they finally did something goodish, so that's nice. But to be fair, you totally did. You spent fate and you did things and you got points and it was great. You did a great job recruiting hunters to go out. It's gonna help. Let's do that. So the hunting test. I guess the plan here, your intent as a group, and I'm gonna kind of address this to everybody except for Rooster because I know Rooster don't give a shit. The three of you who are civically minded, and also like Rooster, why would you ever think about like where food comes from? Because either you get fed or you don't, right? Like you do your job and people bring you food, and that's the fucking way it works.
And like sometimes you do your job and you don't get fed, and that's just
and that's just how it works. Like if there's gonna be food, there'll be food, and you'll eat it. But for the rest of you who have a different relationship with food, you are trying to keep the village fed. Is that everybody's kind of main intent here?
Yeah. It sounds like even Rooster is helping. My hope is that Rooster, even though what he's doing is beating the shit out of people, will be helping because you described those soldiers as like kind of dicks.
That's fair. Okay, well, let's find out. Let's find out about the soldiers. Let's go to the logging camp, shall we? So, Rooster, you're mad. You're mad as hell, right? Because it's no money and like things are not going great for you.
Because I feel powerless.
Because you are. Yep.
I want to go feel like I'm in control of something, which means I'm going to go, be horrible.
It's good. You're a good person, Rooster. I'm really glad that you exist and are here to protect these poor people. Okay, cool. So you show up at the logging camp. And this is no surprise. People aren't going to be like, oh my god, it's Rooster, he's here to fuck shit up. Because you've been gambling with these losers for a while. Like I don't want to portray them right out the get-go that they're all like dirtbag asshole vagabonds, but you know, they definitely like took stuff from the castle and have been like being soldierly because they perceive that danger is coming and they haven't been given the order to leave either. And so, you know, when you get there, they welcome you, but aren't necessarily like, hey, let's talk about all of our like secret shit. So there's the lieutenant who is in charge of the soldiers, and then there's the like 9 or so remaining soldiers, and they've all been hanging out in the logging camp. So when you get there, it's, I don't know, like maybe morning of the next day, and they're all like hanging out eating the like tail end of breakfast when you arrive. So there's like the smell of food in the air and what have you.
Yeah, and I think Rooster's probably pretty hungry. And at the very least, I'm going to make a show of it. And I'm just like, I walk up and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm really hungry. Like, can I have some food?
One of the soldiers is like, they don't have any food for you up there in that castle you've been sleeping in?
None for me. The higher ups get it all, as it always is.
Yeah, don't I know it? And he gestures over to where they've got like a pot, and he's like, "You can have whatever's left. We made more than we could eat anyway."
That must be nice. And I walk over and like, dole out some slop to myself.
Okay, yeah, it's totally not slop. It's like so you walk over there and there's like you know, they've retrofitted the inside of this like place where the loggers would eat, so it's still pretty much like a kind of longhouse. And at the end, they've got the pot with some like stew in it that they obviously have made. They made like a few days ago and have just been kind of like keeping like reheating and stuff. There's a big like chain of like sausages like hanging off of a post nearby. There's a like a table they've cleared off with like a meat cleaver in it, and a bunch of like sort of miscellaneous like odds and ends from that. There's a bunch of like bread, and then several both full and empty bottles of wine that are like on a like under a table nearby.
Okay, so I think my approach here is I like serve some up and I start like chatting up the food. I'm like, oh yeah, like I pulled the like, this is some seriously gourmet shit kind of line where I'm just like, I'm eating the food, but I'm standing apart from everyone and just like giving them the look. And there's that undertone of like, you fucking guys.
So you're not trying to be like, hey, I'm one of you. This is great. You're like being from the get go, being interrogating them about it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is really good. Like, they don't even have. They're barely like eating up with it. Where'd you find this? Like, who got this food? It's great. And there's just that like little undertone of just like, yeah, no one else has this. How do you have this?
So I think this is when the lieutenant comes in, and he
and
says,
it's like as I'm eating it as well.
Yeah,
so I've got like
yeah.
a mouthful, and I've got like a few sausages and like a bowl of the stew, and cramming as much food in my face as I can.
Yeah, I think the lieutenant comes in, and kind of sees you eating their food, and the last thing you said was like, "Where'd you get it from?"
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, he says to you, most of it came from the castle. Larder was pretty full. We needed to resupply. Didn't have any orders otherwise. Is that going to be a problem?
No, I mean, why shouldn't you just have all the fucking food? You know, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, it spoils war. And that's why I'm like...
I think he detects your very subtle sarcasm.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not hardly all the food. Just enough to keep, and he like just around, keep us running in case the villagers get uppity. Because that tends to happen. You saying there's a food problem in the village?
Oh yeah, they're gonna get real fucking uppity when they don't have anything to eat. And I just like take another big bite.
It's like they have fields. There's got to be game in the woods. Is it our responsibility to take care of these backwater? Look, that's not why we're here. We were here to take the castle. We took the castle. Winter's gonna come. It's gonna get cold. We wanted to make sure we were fed. That's it. I don't care about some villagers. I'm sorry.
I'm just like, yeah, fuck them. And I walk over and like sit down.
Okay. He's cautious. He's not sure whether to like buy your sudden change of attitude or whatever. Like he's not sure what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I think most of the soldiers that were finishing have finished or abandoned their like food and have kind of like gone to go and do other things. It's just you and the lieutenant.
Oh, good. But you know who does really care? He cares a lot. It's that Basil. He just cares an awful lot. Don't you think?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he just really wants these people to believe in him. It's kind of sick, really.
Sure.
Don't you think? Isn't that a little weird?
Not really the kind of thing I'm being paid to have opinions about.
Yeah, and you get paid?
Yeah. He says, yeah, we can't all subsist on fame.
So that's all I've got as I like keep eating his food.
I think he says, yeah. He's like, yeah, that and a bowl of our stew.
I'm just like,
maybe this. He says, like, maybe this isn't clear to you. Maybe you lost perspective, but you used to be a soldier, but you're not now. I don't know what you are, but you're not one of us.
No, I fought against you, actually. It's funny. On the wrong side of the war, and here I am. Eating your stew.
You're just like trying to goad this guy into fighting you.
Yeah, I'm just like...
He's such an asshole. Okay. I mean, I guess, is that what you're trying to do? Do you want to, like, get him to, like, get violent with you so you can have justifiable cause to fight back?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. And is there a skill that you would like to use? Is there like...
Is there a skill for that?
I don't know. Like persuade.
Can we call it rooster?
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna try to rooster him.
Is this conspicuous?
Nah, because he definitely notices you.
I feel like conspicuous might be the closest analog of just like, I'm just making myself stand out so much as like a jerk.
You want him to do something
Yeah.
And you want him to think it was his idea.
I mean, it could be persuade as well.
It could.
It's persuade. I think
Convincing
it's
him to fight me.
I think it's persuade. You're trying to convince him that it was his idea to fight you.
Oh yeah, totally. All right. What's my ob here?
Ob is his will. Do you have persuade?
No, I'm learning it.
Okay.
This is me learning.
This is you learning to persuade.
Oh, this is what learning looks like.
Somebody is going to learn something.
I feel like this is a teachable moment.
Okay. So let's talk about what'll happen if you fail, because I think that's important. So it's going to be persuade. Your ob is going to be 2, but it'll double to 4, which means you're probably going to fail. Your intent here is get him to fight you because, like, you're going to get mad enough to, like, do something violent, or, like, grab you or fight you or whatever. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you fail, I think the most obvious choice here is that he just doesn't do it, that he just shakes his head and he's like, you're pathetic, and, like, walks away.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Sure. All right. So attempting to provoke this guy, go ahead and do that. Which is interesting because it'll force you to start the fight if you want there to be one.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't fork anything when I'm learning stuff.
No.
Okay. So no modifiers.
Yeah.
No Artha. Yeah. Obstacle
Like
3.
Basil just sighing sadly
obstacle,
in the distance.
Obstacle 2. Total of 4 once it doubles it, which it'll do automatically.
It'll do automatically, yeah.
Great.
Nope. No chance there. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So no, I think he. So you're like, here I am eating your stew, and I think he just shakes his head and he's like, yeah, you'd best finish up and be on your way. You're not gonna find anything here. And he like turns his back on you and starts to walk away.
Tough. This is tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's either I throw my bowl of stew at him or I go gamble with his men, because like one of these two things is going to happen.
Right. Here's the choice you have to make, right? And I just want to, because you'd be aware of this. If you go after the lieutenant, especially now, being the one that picks the fight,
yeah, it's a very different game.
the rest of the soldiers will probably never trust or speak to you again, which means they won't play cards with you anymore. Or you can flip that and be like, you know what, never mind. I'm not going to report you to Basil or whatever. Fuck it. I'm going to hang out with you guys and eat your food and play your card games. And later, when shit goes down, they're going to expect you to be on their side.
So I'm in like direct tension between two of my things here, because my instinct is to always do what Basil tells me.
Mm-hmm. You do have a direct order from Basil. Yeah.
And yeah, he told me to go out, and he just told me to go beat people up because he's not doesn't think very highly of my skill set. You know,
this is all. Yeah, listen.
Skill set. But then I want to like be able to enjoy things and spend my money and stuff like that. So I think there's just this scene of Rooster like hanging out in this longhouse, just like putting his feet up, or his foot up, and then like foot, and just being like, okay, well, I guess, I don't know, free man, like, guess I can just do this now. And so I like take my time eating some food. I go take some more. I go like rummage around in the camp and like gamble with the men, and just like I just like fuck around and like don't do anything helpful.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, so you respond to that tension by being like, well, never mind, I'll just be irresponsible.
Yeah, totally. Like I'm just like
give into your inner bourgeois and just enjoy the good life.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so you're gone for a while then. You're absent from Graustedt. So the people doing the real work. Let's talk about how getting the village fed is going to look. So we know, Woodsman, we know how you're contributing. Baker, what are you doing? What's your plan here? I want to see your part of this.
I'm in the kitchens, council kitchens, slaving away, stretching our resources as far as I possibly can. Did he have livestock or anything like that? Like,
No, so you get the impression from, I mean, how do you find this stuff out? Like, are you like asking around or just taking stock by yourself? Or...
Well, I'm assuming that I'm making stuff with the people who were previously working in the kitchen.
Okay.
So we're most likely finding that we're super low on stuff like milk and butter, stuff that would be imported into the castle from some other area because we don't have like cows or goats or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm basically just making hardtack at this point.
Sure.
And I'm so pissed about it. I hate it. I'm so mad because it's like squandering my skill, and I'm just
yeah. You made
the hardtack like so mad.
You made wedding cakes for the nobility, and now here you are.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So why don't we get you? I'll get you to make a test with what you got. So it sounds like you're not doing this alone. Like you're gonna hopefully get meat from the hunter. So let's have the hunter do a test, and then the meat that he brings back will help you do your tests.
Cool.
Okay. So Hunter, you go out into the woods, and this test will represent like a while, like basically your full-time job for a few like I don't know, a week or so, depending on how well you do. But you have help, right? You have Johan and you have his two sons helping you. So why don't we make a hunting test? It's going to be ob 3, I think, for hunting this time of year and what's available. But you get 3 dice on top of your hunting skill. Oh yeah, killing it.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay. So you go and you do manage to get like a couple of like, you know, sizable deer, a bunch of rabbits, and you bring all of that stuff back to the castle, I assume.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, let's have. I want to see the two of you interact a little bit, Agnes and the woodsman. So, Agnes, you're in the kitchen, like taking stock of the food when the woodsman and maybe like one of Johann's sons show up, and they've got like a bunch of like meat, like basically for you. How do you? What does that look like? What do you do?
I'm probably elbow deep in hardtack goo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, wonderful, wonderful, put it over there, and I'm like still pounding, trying to make stuff. But I do want to like talk to him once these two other dudes.
Okay, so
walk away.
So let's say, you know, when you gesture us to put stuff down, we'll throw it down on the counter, and I don't know, maybe the rest of them head out to like bring more in or something.
Sure. Yeah.
And maybe I stay back for a second. And I'm like, so do you know how to make anything with this stuff? Do you know how to butcher this properly?
I'm just kind of like, shh.
Well, I don't know. You do the bread thing.
I do a lot of things.
Okay.
So how are you doing?
Could be worse. There's a hole in my side. It's not that bad though.
There's a bottle of like cooking wine sitting on the counter nearby.
Okay. So I'd probably look at it and like nod to her if it's like closer to her reach than mine. I sort of like gesture over the bottle. Do you like understand my meaning?
I roll my eyes and I don't give you the bottle. I pour like a bowl of wine and slide it over to you, and I just say, well, I for one am very glad that you're okay.
Got the irony there of like affirming, being like, I'm glad you're okay with your drinking problem and your stomach wound.
Did you say you pour a bowl of wine?
Yeah, like there's like mixing bowls on the table. So
Uh-huh.
I just pour like a little,
Okay, so I'm like,
maybe a third of the bottle of wine into the bowl because I don't want
so
you to have
I
the whole
pick it up
thing.
and like sort of tilt it and like in my face. I'm like, no, to your statement about like me being okay. Just like thanks, like with wine in my face already. And then I put it down, and
Just nod.
yeah, I don't know if there's any pressing matters for me to like go do if I have any sense of like duty right now, or if I'm just like sort of lounging.
I mean, probably the latter, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You're just doing your job. You got meat, man.
Then yeah, I'm probably just leaning up against the counter with the bowl at my side and just listening to whatever she has to say to me.
I just,
Hey,
huh?
hey, sorry to cut you off, but I was just wondering because I've been talking with this hunter Johan. You've probably seen him. What is it that you guys came up with in the 11 months prior to me waking up about safeguarding this town for the winter? What was the strategy for those or 11 weeks?
We did not have much.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah. Well, we were a little preoccupied with making sure that you stayed alive.
Oh, did you do that?
I did a little.
Like baking bread, right?
Like carrying you to a church.
Well, you have my thanks. I'm sure I don't know what to say, ma'am, but you have my thanks. I've told you. Like he doesn't want to like engage in any kind of like real manner with her because the distance thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I like it. It's good.
This is brutal.
That you're alive. So I'm just like, well, you're very welcome.
So you're gonna need anything else besides this game to make whatever it is you're gonna make? Save all these villagers?
Maybe if you see any nuts or berries on your travels. Otherwise, the game is awesome.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind. I'll mention it to Johan, and we'll see what we can rustle up.
I just nod at you. Like, yeah, we're on the same page.
I take another sip from my bowl, and it's a bowl, so you can't do it.
It's like-
you can't very like easily, and so there's like wine running down my shirt.
Yeah, totally. You can't drink out of a bowl.
So, and I probably just top it off and then place it down and say thank you very much and sort of saunter on out of the kitchen. Maybe like if there's any like hardtack or a bun or something like on the counter, I also sort of swipe it as I'm walking out and like take a bite out of it and keep on going.
Nice.
Okay, fantastic. So once he leaves, it's your job then to prepare, like, basically rations for the winter for the villagers. So what do you do to make that happen? So you've got meat from the hunter, so that'll give you some advantage there.
I'm butchering everything, and I'm assuming that this stronghold has some sort of like smokehouse or salt house type situation.
Yeah.
So what I'd prefer to do is butcher it up into as small pieces as possible and jerky it up
Okay,
to make it last longer.
that sounds good.
I'm not gonna make any like meat pies or anything like that. I'm gonna stick to like super simple bread
Okay,
and jerky.
excellent. Feeding the people. Okay, so you can roll your cooking skill. You have cooking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So roll cooking.
Okay.
You can fork in your baking skill. You also have the extra die from the supplies, from the meat that was brought to you. Anything else that you want to? Any other advantage you want to try to garner, or anything like that?
Maybe anatomy would help me with butchering.
Definitely. Yep. Go ahead and fork that in.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay. How many dice does that give you?
3.
Okay. Well, you'll need them. It's it's an OB3 test, so.
Okay.
You get 1 bonus die from having the woodsman's help, right?
Yeah. Well, what's your cooking at?
Oh, my modifier is 3.
Oh, nice.
Cooking is 3.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it up in here.
Don't jinx it, Adam. God.
I can't jinx it. I don't care.
I can roll 6 ones. I'll show you sometime.
So here's the thing. If you succeed, there'll be enough food to feed the village through the winter. If you fail, there'll be enough food to feed some of the village through the winter.
I have to make some decisions.
Yeah.
All right. What's my ob?
Ob's 3.
Right. Okay.
Not trying to do anything fancy.
Here we go.
Boom. Okay. Nicely done. So between the woodsman and the baker, you've garnered enough food that you'll be able to keep everybody fed for the next couple of months.
Awesome.
Oh, hooray.
Oh boy.
People.
So I want to know, while all of this practical work is being done, Basil, what are you up to?
So I'm assuming this is all happening in the same time period that I'm like failing estate management roles, and
Yeah.
But on top of that, a thing I think I decided I wanted to start doing is working on the morale of the people in this place. And I'm not doing that by lecturing them with philosophy, but what I'm doing instead is that, like, every night or whenever there's kind of a common time when there is like time for people to gather and talk, burn a fire, I'm telling them like fairy tales. I'm telling them folklore that has been carefully modified to maybe carry a slightly more revolutionary message, right?
Okay. Well, I think the first thing you'll need to do is to get the villagers to gather somewhere that you are welcome, because they don't gather at the castle.
Right. No, I'm going into I'm not bringing them here. I'm going in.
Okay, so yeah, I guess the first time then you would be like an outsider in the in this situation. So the villagers meet in the church.
Right.
And they meet every week, though some go to the church for other things, but they meet every week. And they go there to pray and to like gather and to talk. And
okay, then actually it sounds like the first thing I should do is get the approval of the nun to even be there.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, so you want to go have a conversation with her?
Yeah. Can I have a scene with her?
Sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I go to her when she is not mid services or not in the middle of who knows what she's doing, but I'm not going during the busy time of the day for her, as far as I can tell.
Not during peak piety hours.
Yes, exactly.
All right, sure. Yeah, you find her in the church because that's where she lives and works.
Right.
And I think that she's replacing some like candles on the altar when you arrive.
Sister, a moment.
She turns, looks over her shoulder, sees you. Anyone's welcome here. I can't ask you to leave.
I appreciate that. I understand that you have good reason to not be so welcoming. I appreciate that you would speak with me. Things in the village, as you can see, they're a little touch and go right now. Things could go one way or they could go another way. there's a chance, and I'm doing everything I can, but there's a chance that we will not have the food to get the villagers through the winter. But if that happens,
I think she says, she interrupts you. She's like, yes, you chose an inappropriate time to come and kill the Duke.
I suspect, from what I know about the Duke, that he would not have any sympathy for these people.
I don't think it's about.
He certainly
I don't
had
think it's about
his own
sympathy.
family. Anyway, sister. He's like calming himself down a little bit. If the situation goes bad, if we do not have enough for every mouth, I'm willing to defer to you with what we should do with what we do have. You know these people, you know what their needs are, you know their history, and they know you. I would like to build a relationship with them for as long as I'm here, but I know that the Duke was out in his castle, and you were here in their homes and in their hearts. You have a relationship with them that whoever is in that castle will never have. And I just want you to, if things go bad, you're going to be the one who's in charge of this town.
She nods as if you're not telling her anything she doesn't already know.
Would you mind if I spoke to the people here and there after your services?
Spoke to them about what?
I spent a lot of time in the woods. I spent years in the woods, just myself and a mentor, a few other students, a few other foragers, and things were tough then. Things were hungry, and we passed the time by telling stories to raise our spirits. I would like to share some of those stories with the villagers and let them know that I have struggled also, and that they who struggle they don't always need to. And sometimes there is victory, and sometimes there is perseverance, and sometimes there is a tomorrow even when there does not seem to be.
I think she kind of scoffs when you say that and turns to look at you for the first time because she's just been like doing her thing. Mm-hmm. She turns and looks at you and she says, these people, they can see right through you, you know. It doesn't matter how many of your fancy words you try to use. They know who you are. And you don't belong here. You, the Duke, you see, you're both the same, only God put the Duke in that castle, and you came here from the city with these ideas. You're not one of us. They won't listen.
Sister, do you think God let the Duke do everything he did? Do you know what God let the Duke do?
Just nodding. It's not our job to question these things.
Oh. I see. You really knew? And I step forward towards her.
Yeah, she nods. I know everything that goes on in this town. It's my job.
And you did nothing.
There was nothing to do. This is how things are here. It's how they've always been.
Basil.
Yeah, punch that nun in the face.
Is not going to punch this nun in the face.
It's not. He's not. You're not a nun puncher. It's true. Rooster's going to do it.
Yeah,
no.
Add me to your scene. I will do it.
I know you will.
I will punch anyone.
What is this faith?
So, I mean, I don't know how clear is it to... I mean, you're a philosopher, so you'd be loosely aware of it, but...
Yeah, I mean, is this the predominant faith in the land at this point?
It depends on where in the land you are. It's definitely fallen out of vogue anywhere that considers itself civilized, but that's not everywhere. It was the main faith when the city that is now known as Freiburg was built.
Okay. I want to... what I want to do at this point is, in detail that I, Austin, don't want to get into, have a debate with this nun about what happened there that makes her feel terrible.
Yeah.
For letting that happen. That's my intention.
Sure. Yeah. So you wanna make it about, what's your angle, like about the person or about
it's about her responsibility. That here's the line of logic that Basil's going to follow. That God put her here to care for these villagers. God says everyone, is here for a reason. Her reason was to protect these villagers, to guide them, to protect the town of Grautstadt, and that her authority was in fact higher than the Duke's, and that she had a responsibility that she let go of, that she failed at, and let what happened to the Duke's daughter happen, and let the Duke also hurt these people in probably countless ways that I don't even know about. So I'm trying to shame her. Okay,
cool. Well, her counterpoint is going to be that, like, the word of God is such that the Duke was put in place because it was God's will, and he had dominion over the land and the people that dwell therein. She's going to quote some scripture at you, and that she, like both the Duke's wife and the Duke's daughter and all of these people and herself and whatever, are all the property of the Duke and the property of God by way of the Duke, and that your arguments are misguided, and she's gonna try to prove to you that she's right, and that you don't understand because you just came here with these highfalutin ideas that don't, she's gonna try and instill doubt in you.
Okay, that's fair.
And then I'm going to punish everybody in chat who's making bad nun puns right now, including both Colin and Silton. Both of you
can't have it both ways, Adam.
I know, it's true. They're really good. Okay, so what skill are you gonna use here?
I'm looking to do philosophy, and then to fork in oratory, family secrets wise, because I am going deep into that.
It'll be the other way around, because oratory is the active skill. And,
gotcha. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Here's a question. Okay, here's a thing. I have a trait. That is, what is it called? What's the Boar Noble trait called?
Noblesse oblige or whatever.
Mark of privilege.
Is that what it is?
There's two. Mark of privilege is the one that everyone knows. Everyone knows you're a noble.
Yeah.
But that's helping her in this case.
No, because I think
you can't have it both ways and be like, I'm a noble. God says I know more than you, but God is wrong.
It's not that I'm saying that God knows more than that. I'm not saying that God knows that God's given me the knowledge. I'm saying that I have the knowledge that she, in fact, has misunderstood. That I know more because I've had access to more education. That I've come up in a better, smarter place than this.
Mm-hmm. I think that's not helping you, right? Because that's proving her point. She's like, yeah, somewhere that's not here. That's where you're from. Go back.
But then if I'm counter arguing with her, then I don't see how that doesn't help my side of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean it's a trait that you're trying to use against her, right? And I mean in this case, that's not actually what that trait does.
Okay. Is that just about recognition? Is that the way?
If you had the other one, the like noble obligation one, that's the like I'm just trying to help you because I'm a noble, and that's what we do.
All right, sounds good. So let's do oratory, and then I'll fork in philosophy and family secret wise.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if she would have any other appropriate skills. Because she has persuade. She's going to try and persuade you that you don't know what you're talking about. Or persuasion, it's technically called. Okay, so yeah. Ugly truth for sure. Okay. That's for real the skill she has.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I may give her a decent stat on that. Okay, cool. All right, so she's gonna roll persuade, and she's gonna fork in philosophy and ugly truth. So
sounds good.
She has some dice. You want me to roll for her first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. Bloop. Oh, she rolled really bad.
She rolled really bad. Let's see if I do too.
This nun is terrible at role-playing games.
She's the worst.
You are the worst nun.
There it is.
How much worse could that roll have been? None more worse.
Oh, she had a lot of dice.
None
She
better.
had so many. Yeah.
She had 6 dice.
Okay. All
All I'm
right.
saying is it seems like God is on my side. That's all.
I mean, yes, our Jesus is here for you. Cool. Okay. So yeah, like she speaks the dogmatic line, right, where she's like, you can't convince me that any human suffering is more relevant or important or whatever than God. And the word of God, and these things happen for a reason, and they have been happening in Graustadt forever. And you get this from the argument that there's there's precedent. It's not like he was just a weird dude. It's just like the nobility did these things.
Right.
And also there's some underpinning that she's like, this is a choice that is made by like the nobles, like that maybe there's more to the story. There's a historical context that you don't have, but your counter argument gets her on the like human level, and I think that at the end of it, like you have what you want, right? Like she feels she's like frustrated and like angry, but feels like guilty. You've planted that seed of doubt.
I'm happy she's feeling a thing and isn't just like able to hide behind the dogma.
Sure,
You know? Yeah.
sure. I mean, I think that it's interesting because I think that we're seeing Basil being like interestingly sort of reductive about this, where he's like, your stupid religion is dumb and you're stupid, and listen to my philosophy, and you should have real human feelings and not just let your book tell you how to feel.
Yep.
And then you just hurt her feelings and she feels bad, and you're like, yeah, see?
Yeah, good. This is the, I think this is probably also why Basil left the woods, is like, it's great to fucking talk shit, go do shit.
Yeah, totally. Go make nuns feel bad.
Go make nuns feel bad and go kill the wives of woodcarvers. Like you just,
The revolution.
that's the only way you change the world.
The revolution is the best. So do you leave then, or are you just like, shut up, nun, and like you proved your point? And she
I think I say, I think you're better than this. There is room for God in this world, obviously. But faith, it has to be built on something other than law alone. There has to be love or compassion or sympathy or community. And you are in a privileged position to help figure that out for these people and for yourself. Think on it. I'll be back. We can talk more. And I leave.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do Artha now. Now that we've made the nun, we'll just close on making the nun feel bad. God, it's so interesting too. Like I love stuff like that where it's just like there's no real good way out of that, and everybody just feels bad. But you got what you wanted. So.
Yeah. Or I got what Basil wanted.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Basil got what Basil wanted. Yeah, of course.
Basil got what was right for the people.
That's right.
Well,
exactly.
we'll see.
I mean, we'll see, right? Sometimes you gotta. I mean, the nun is your biggest opposition in this village, right? Like she's the hard point you got to take apart before you can like win this idealized battle. Cool. Okay, so
they can't stop the puns. They can't.
I know
They don't
it's
know how to stop.
unstoppable. There's just no stopping the terrible nun puns.
You say it was non-stoppable.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Look, it's not my fault that Chad has a bad habit. Okay.
No, you taught them. It is your fault.
Bad habit. That was a joke.
Oh boy. Yep. So anyway, who wants some Martha? Rooster, let's start with you, my good friend.
Okay. So you owe me one Artha for my use of my limp, creative use of a limp.
That's right. Yeah. So your let me grab your character sheet here so we can all follow along. Yes, your lame trait earned you one for throwing that roll.
Yeah.
So take your fate for that one.
Yeah, got it. I feel like I satisfied my belief about how Duke Ilan Duval needs to die.
Yes. Yeah. So you can take a persona for that one.
Do you think I did enough to satisfy my second belief of?
I mean, that's not a question for me. Woodsman did. I mean, you get the fate no matter what. But did the rooster bringing the woodsman something to drink, despite the fact that it was for your health, not a good idea? Did that ease your recovery?
I mean, I feel like didn't we kind of determine that I had? I mean, it definitely like eased my mind because that's what I desired. But like,
I think the important word here is recovery. I'm not trying to take the persona away from you, Andrew. I want to know how the woodsman, like how Colin feels about the woodsman recovering.
Well, it's not just recovering alcohol that I'm trying to ease.
Oh yeah, totally. But I mean, like that's sort of the question, right? If you said ease his pain, the answer would definitely be no because it hurt him. But like, was it easier for the woodsman to have booze despite the fact that it was like physically hurting him? What do you think, Colin?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, nice. All right,
Great.
so you take the persona for that. You're gonna need two new beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I don't know if I did my like enjoy things while I can belief. I mean, I guess I kind of pursued that towards the end there, where I was just like, actually,
Yeah,
Fuck
you're
it.
like, fuck it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally.
So maybe I'll cash in on that.
Fate for that one.
Always defer to the nobility or whoever's in charge. Totally got me into trouble because it made me want to go pick fights with people.
Yeah, but you didn't actually like pick the fight. You backed down. You were like, I still need to be friends with these gamblers.
It's true.
Yeah.
Then in that case, certainly instinct number 2 got me into trouble because in terms of like my role play of Rooster, he would not have run off to go pick a fight with someone if Basil had.
Well, I want to know, Basil, when Rooster pushed you away, did that complicate your relationship with him? Like, do you feel like distant? Like, did that distancing work?
No, not in that moment. It didn't. No, because my response, Basil's response to that was, "Hey, you'll always have a home here." Basically. Now,
Well, I would argue though that before you told me that, you went into like boss mode. You were
I
just
did.
like, you're my pawn. Go do this thing.
I did. But for me, it was I did it in that order specifically so that I could end on the soft note.
Sure.
But we'll see.
Management and their ideas.
I love how you're actively trying to make the other characters hate you so you can get fate points. Would you say you hate me more now than you did before? Tell me you don't like me. Come on, give me
So
that
my
fate.
case here for this one getting me fate is just that like Rooster would not have gone and rushed off to go be violent with someone without any reason,
I
if
think,
not for the fact that like
I mean, again, I think this is
Basil
the
tried to
same.
touch him and all this crap.
I
It's like-
think this is the same thing as that first one where you didn't actually get in trouble, but when we get
Sure.
to the traits, I think these are things that complicated your life.
Cool.
And when
Okay.
you come back and tell me you did not, or if I find out you didn't do the stuff.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get in
That's
some
That's
shit.
when it'll catch up.
But
with
I think that I definitely think that there's some traits that got you in trouble here.
Okay, so I have masterless, scarred, gambling addiction, survivor, pliant, silent, and brutish, as well as lame, broken, and stubborn.
I would take one for gambling addiction, right? Because that was a big part of it, right? Like you didn't
Yeah.
want to get cut off from your like source of people who will play cards with you.
Totally.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Cool.
Take your fate there. Good stuff. How about we do the woodsman? The woodsman. Do either of your beliefs?
I could maybe argue that I won't let myself become close with anyone. Well, I don't know. Like the exchange with the baker was like,
That was that one for sure. Like you as a player, you had the opportunity to be like, "Hey, I'm a real person. Let's have a conversation." Instead, you're like, "I'm just gonna sloppily drink this wine and then peace out." Like
Yeah.
it was so awkward and awesome. Yeah, definitely. That was definitely you doing that for sure.
okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought that was actually great role playing.
Yeah,
That
I
you
really
were
like.
like,
Totally.
I hear that you are complimenting me. I heard you say it, like all that, like really actually act awkward deliberately, and you nailed it. It was great. It was like quite entertaining.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the second one, I don't think I risked my life, so not relevant.
Mhm.
Instinct wise, let's see. also probably not
Yeah,
relevant.
your instincts are pretty defensive, so they're there to protect you.
Yeah. Yep. None of those things I
Okay.
think I applied. The traits though, let's see. I don't know. I think I think you could definitely argue determined. Well, first of all, alcoholic, I think I fulfilled consistently.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, take a fate point for that for sure.
So like when I left the church and just sauntered up the street
Yep.
without orienting myself
Yeah,
or
you
anything.
should. You did a bunch of stuff for both of those you should not have been doing. So yeah, take one for both for alcoholic and determined.
Yeah, and I don't know the ulcer thing that we added today. I referenced it when I was talking with the rooster, but I don't know if
that one will definitely get to for sure.
Okay.
Cool, good stuff. Agnes, should we do yours? So, taking advantage of every opportunity to read or otherwise absorb new material. I think that one, definitely, fate for that one. Your second belief, did you pursue doing what is necessary to defend the interests of your comrades? You're muted. So.
Hello.
Hey,
Okay.
welcome back.
Sorry. I didn't really defend anyone. I made certain that people wouldn't starve, but I don't know if that's necessarily defending.
Well, so this is a thing for like the future too. Like it's starting to sound like there's a third belief coming out in your character's play about connecting with people or protecting like the people in some way. Like you're feeding people and you're reconnecting with people that you've done wrong to and like reaching out in a really human way, which I don't think we're seeing anywhere else.
Yeah.
Shut up, you. Yeah, you're hurting them on purpose.
Yeah, it's like the complete opposite of how Rooster is operating.
Yeah, and it's still very questionable whether like I'm curious. I want to see like how Basil interacts with people, whether they're people or whether they're philosophical objects, right? If you're just interacting with their ontology. So it's I think about between sessions like where the baker might have a belief about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. I don't think any of your instincts complicated your business.
My business. Let me see traits. Yeah, I don't think any of these really applied today.
Okay. That is okay. All right, so let's take care of Basil, last but not least.
Sure. This curse shoulders are accomplishments and must be undone at any cost. I don't think I actually. I guess I'll take. I can take
Delegated.
Yeah, I delegate.
You worked towards it. Yep.
I work towards it. I'll take a fate on that. I think I get a persona for killing the Duke here.
Yeah, because you perceived a person that had too much power under their own.
and took him. Yes, like it was literally. Oh, look at this. In the last episode, it was this is what having this much power gives, which is I got a fate for that, and now here's following through on that and successfully making that stop.
Successfully murdering an old man.
Well, so but what that means is if you're going to take the persona for it, it means you need to rewrite that belief. It needs to
and I think I should. I don't know what yet, but I do need to. From that thing, I think it's about what my response to seeing so much power should be.
Yeah.
It could be something about like
something
the
about
necessity.
something about religion or there's lots of space there.
Yeah, definitely. That like the Duke's act was condoned by faith. Faith must be rewritten to prevent that from ever happening again, or something like that. I'm gonna make a big thing. Religion, maybe? Question mark. No, I'll do that. And the last one I haven't done yet, which is the one's birth should never limits one's reach. I will create an organization to help those born low standing.
That's right. Okay.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that once we get back to the city. Instincts was the practice, the philosophy one that didn't actually harm me in any way, but just think 12 hours a day of reading philosophy.
Wow.
Is there anything worse?
Probably not. Getting stabbed with a halberd is probably right up there.
Yeah, it's probably a little worse.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll always share the victory in its spoils. I didn't take any of that money that I could have taken.
That you don't need.
Sure, but
listen.
That's not really what that instinct is about. Like, if your instinct was like rejecting personal wealth, maybe.
Sure.
Your victory here was philosophical, right? And still continues to be.
Oh no, I literally meant yes, in that case it was, yeah. And then Always Fight Dirty just helped me a lot.
Totally. Yeah.
And then I don't think any of my traits got me in trouble because I succeeded at a lot of roles and like got what I wanted. Like if I had fucked up on trying to kill that Duke, or in trying to, if I had failed the nun stuff.
Yeah, I want to see you. I think the cynical and haunted stuff will come later when you're like dealing with the actual ramifications. Of the stuff
and I was trying to lean into muttering and contemptuous today. But again, like they didn't get me into trouble in any.
Yeah, they didn't complicate your life. Yeah.
So they will if the roles that I fail start being those roles instead of the estate management roles.
Totally.
But yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that'll do her for the game portion of the evening. Why don't we play it out? Creepy shadow Andrew.
Yeah, sorry, the lighting here is not very good.
It's kind of amazing. I'm really digging it. So if people want to learn more about your spectral nature, where can they do so?
Well, you can cross over into the spirit realm, or failing that, you can check me out on @CommuteandCrow on Twitter. I'm doing a couple shows with Roll20 here.
That's right.
Also, I wanted to shout out to the Math Squad Burning Wheel folks who have been posting their episodes, and like just kind of a little thing that they threw together. The stream like production quality is not the best, which they acknowledge, but it was kind of fun to watch them play Burning Wheel and just like see how other people are doing it and stuff like that. And I thought it was really rad that they just like posted their stuff. So that was awesome.
Totally.
I wanted to give them a thumbs up.
Cool. Thanks, Andrew. Jess, how about you?
Thanks for watching. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that at Silden, SYLDENN. Silden is all of my stuff, all my art stuff. Just Google the word Silden, it's pretty much all me. I do sub emotes for my buddy Anna Prosser over at twitch.tv/Anna so check that out. I also do some art for the Misclicks. I did the Nimmergeist art for their YouTube show, so check that out too.
Yeah, the stuff is
Thanks
badass.
for watching.
Mm-hmm. Colin?
Let's see. If you want to follow me and my personal things, Twitter is twitter.com/SVNDER. And I'm thinking about, I said this last week, I know. Thinking about streaming video games. So if you like video games, or you just want to learn about what video games are, you've never seen it before, I'll show you.
That's my favorite introduction to like a video game stream thing ever.
Yeah.
If you want to know what a video game is, boom, I'm on it.
We don't know the demographics of this audience. I mean, there may be some senior citizens who, they've been hearing about the International on the news, this like thing that the kids are doing today, and there's millions of dollars at stake, and
Oh, it's so good.
I'll learn. But yeah, if I ever do that and follow through with that, that'll be on twitch.tv/SVNDER as well. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. I saw some fans of yours in the audience, Austin. But for everyone who doesn't already love you, tell us where they can check you out.
You can find me on Twitter at Austin_Walker. I write about video games and other stuff at giantbomb.com. I have a review of a kind of space shooter mecha roguelike thing called Galaxy going up on Monday. And you can listen to my actual play podcast at friendsathetable.net.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. I am Adam Coble. You know that. I do this. So if you're not already following the channel, please do so. We've got another show that we're going to be starting up very soon. Very, very soon. We'll probably have an announcement for that sometime next week. So keep an eye on all the Roll20 social medias. And as I always say in the end of every episode, go and play. And people are starting to listen to me. People are making Roll20 accounts, and they're making games, and they're playing them, and they're streaming them so we can watch them, and it's so cool. So go and do that. And if you do, let me know. Tweet me at Skinny Ghost, and I will retweet you, because I want more of this. I want all kinds of role-playing games on the internet.
Yeah, there are a couple people doing Apocalypse World games that I've seen as well. I watched a little bit of. Super cool.
Yeah, I will happily retweet anybody who tells me that they're streaming their game, because that's very cool. Otherwise, tune in, I guess, next week for more of this, more revolutionary craziness. Thanks for coming, everybody. We will see you next time.
Night.
Later.